What you gonna do now, Mr. D? Trying to stop me from live streaming? You already made the phone act crazy. We got a live stream going on and can't do nothing with it. So we said, okay, we're gonna go to the PC. Mess with the PC, and you did it. How you did it, I don't know, but you messed with the PC too. I'll give you credit. You good. But keep in mind, the same way the human being is not perfected like it was in Adam and Eve's day, you ain't perfect either. Your disconnect from God has made you weaker. Keep that in mind, sir. You and your demons. Y'all ain't as strong as you was back in Adam and Eve day. If it wasn't for the media, I don't think your power would be worth anything. That's just my opinion. If it wasn't for the media, I don't think you really have any power. You got everybody convinced to do these things. I don't think you got no power. I think you whack. That's my opinion. A lot of y'all might not agree with it. Hey, so do what you gotta do. But he ain't running me. I'm the champ. He the chump. What am I a champion of? I don't know, but I know I ain't sorry like he is. I got better things to do than worry about this douchebag. Let's go ahead and get this started here. Worrying about this half-dead bastard.
Alrighty, everybody. Minister Brother
messing with all our equipment.
I just want to do this real quick.
Ain't got his own.
4:39. So let's go.
Can't do his own stuff. Gotta mess with our stuff. A douchebag.
Let's go ahead and get this.
One of those media, please.
I'm going to drop it for you. Stop, look, and listen. Please stop resisting.
We gotta turn it off.
It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Jesus put her off.
Wait a minute, the volume ain't up. Hold on.
Out there is now able to come home.
I had the volume down for my neighbors.
You're never alone if you
We gotta turn that up. Dolby Atmos is in use.
Give Jesus a hug and put down those drugs. The victory over death is already won.
Come back to the OBS. Y'all hearing it?
If your spirit is activated, then think. Why do you need
Let me go into the properties. Make sure y'all. Yep, real check audio.
But the minister is here to school.
Microphone.
I'm here to preach. I'm here to teach.
Blue Snowball, we good.
I'm trying to reach through this song.
Hello.
That I composed.
When Jesus comes back, hey, only God knows. Are you ready?
Or are you sitting heavy?
I said, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Or are you sitting heavy?
You won't be if you follow me.
All right.
Come on with it now. Oh God, what can I say about thee? You still love us sinners and you offer your grace for free. I'm not worthy, but you still search me out of a life of sin. And with Jesus' help, I know I can win. I love serving my Lord. He opens the door to a relationship with God. This is the only way in the name of Jesus. I always pray and I lay myself as a footstool for the lost demons. I know that fools. It's not true to be a believer, but I'm not put my soul in the hands of the deceiver, a wicked devil who brings up inward trouble. I put my desires in ice and on for reason. Paradise. There was no pain, no stress. You gave me the way, and now I'm blessed. You can test me, and the devil stress me. But baby, hell is one place I don't want to see.
That's put one on the bed.
Look and listen, please stop resisting. Hey, it's a new day, let's try a new way. Are you ready, or are you sitting heavy? Stop, look, and listen, please stop resisting. It's a new day, let's try a new way. Minister, Brother Derrick. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Peace, everyone. This is Minister Brother Derrick. I'm going to take something real. And that's what I did. It's really hard to be a Christian in 2021. Yes, it is. Everybody seems to have a double standard. And we don't get no respect in the world. We are considered weak. We are considered strong. We are considered dumb. For believing in a book. But yet, people put up a moral. And you see what I'm talking about. We get no
Not you, one of them.
The more people I come off as righteous, but if tempted, I'm not just. You will feel the things that God can't stand ground on. Every day, I've been reformed, I've been hit with many opportunities. I cannot remain in unity. I'm not convinced of what I'm waiting for. Sickness winning a battle, but God is winning the war. Every day I dance before the Lord, so I'm saying thank you, Jesus, extension for it. I walk among the front, as long as my name is a football like you, like shine, let it broadcast worldwide. I let Jesus be my God, and He let me live. Another day, I'll continue from wherever you stay. Stop being selfish, stop saying,
Hey.
come to God, and start winning. I hope the Lord is in control, in the heavens of my home, earth in the first level. I have my couple man here with the devil. He's a liar, he's a fraud, he's a liar, he's a TV, away from my God. There's a struggle every day to stay on course. I'm behind the enemy line, so I use the word of God as my force, my resource. Becoming that man with the negativity that's around me, the devil has a bounty on my head. Sometimes I grab women outdoors. I feel like I've been grabbing before. But it's okay, the devil can play his mind, but he can't hurt me right now. That's the first thing. He tries to distract me physically, financially, but these things don't mean jack to me.
Hey.
I turn my back to me. It's not easy. It's in there next to me crazy.
Always want what we can't have. It's all show. Cause both of these vehicles take me where I got to go.
Every day I dance before the Lord, so I say things like an extension for it. I want to follow the strength
Yeah. How about it, right? Come to God and start winning. Minister, Brother Derrick. Let's get it.
Welcome to the Minister Brother Derrick Show, and I am Minister Brother Derrick. I just want to say that I love Jesus, and that's the title of this song. I love you, Jesus. We'll follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let the devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
Can't get enough.
Hey.
I love my Jesus. Well, people say to keep it real. But here's the deal. If you're not saved, you're missing out. If you're not born again, your future is in doubt. Your body wasn't made to last.
I love you,
It will
Jesus.
reduce to ash. Your flesh will rot, but your life will not.
I love
Your
you,
soul will go on
Jesus.
forever. So you better realize that you need God, or you will be
I
surprised
love you,
by the pain
Jesus.
of a flame that never goes out. The pits of hell, where they
I
keep
love
stars up,
you,
there's no release.
Jesus.
Not for a moment of peace. The agony and cry
I
never cease.
love you,
There's someone in the
Jesus.
background singing, burn, baby, burn. isn't normal.
I love
Burn, baby, burn. I'm gonna walk in inferno. But seriously, yo, this won't happen if Jesus come back and finds you naked. See, no one knows the time of day. But if you follow the word, it won't matter anyway.
I love you,
Because in heaven, no
Jesus.
one will ever be sick or shed a tear. So in this realm, I show no fear. What you gonna do? Kill me? Make me a martyr? Give me a head start? Put me on the fast track? So keep macking, keep stacking, keep on shacking up. But get caught napping and the jig is up. And I just wanna say, I love you, Jesus. Follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let that devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
If you think that witnessing to your neighbors is weird, think of foreign country respects you out of other fear. Nations of people who don't know God, only mythical characters like a battle bazaar. Most Americans believe in one Lord, one superior being. Christians should be scorned of souls by the million, but we spend our time fulfilling the desires
I
of our
love you,
flesh. We
Jesus.
won't give Jesus our best effort, but we ask for blessings that we don't
I
deserve.
love you,
And you
Jesus.
wonder why our prayers are not heard. In church, you put down those you really admire. You know you have a desire to make that easy money. Drive the fancy car. You feel like a star. When you enter the bars and clubs, deep down, your spirit isn't for God or his ways. So why should anybody listen to a darn thing you say?
I love you, Jesus.
Follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let the devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. We'll follow you wherever you lead us.
Hey, I love you, Jesus.
Let the Holy Spirit feed us. And one more time.
One more time.
I love you, Jesus. All right, y'all, let's get it. Let's get to the Bible study. The minister, BROTHADERRICK show. Let's get it.
Well, let's get it. You heard me. I said, let's get it. So let's get it. Let me close that Windows Media and bring myself in. Hello, everybody. You see me looking up because we're using the projector screen. The TV sitting right here. So we got the phone tripod is holding the Logitech webcam. So y'all looking at me on the webcam. So hello. Well, welcome to the show. Hello and welcome to the show. Give me a second here. I pulled up 2 articles at random. Something happened. Y'all should be able to come along with me. First thing we got to do, it always go to e-bike life. I don't know why, but let's pull up. Let's go to the Disciple. And there's our thumbnail. And let's start right with the thumbnail. Is there a way to blow it up? Can I blow this up? Actually, I got a better idea. Give me that link. Oh, I got 3 articles. I don't remember. I don't remember. I just book them. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and go there. Can I go there? Open link in new tab. All right. This is our first link, but I ain't ready for it yet. We ain't ready for it yet. We'll get to it. Because I'm going to go first. I don't know if y'all can see. I don't think y'all can see. Y'all don't need to, but you will. First, let's go to images. Give me a second here. Let's pull this up. Take myself out. Y'all see what's on your screen? It says you can never make the same mistake twice, because the second time it's not a mistake, it's a choice. Can I read that again for y'all? Can I read it again for you? You can never make the same mistake twice, because the second time it's not a mistake, it's a choice. So what would that mean? This thumbnail caught my eye when I was looking for a thumbnail. Like I said, we supposed to have done this Saturday. So we doing it today. You can never make the same mistake twice. So if you're making a mistake and you continually do it, guess what? It's not a mistake. The first time you might have made a mistake. If you keep repeating it, it's not a mistake. So making apologies, saying you're sorry, saying you didn't mean to do it, that's a lie. You're lying to the people who you hurt, and you're lying to yourself. You know what you're doing. The first time, oops, my bad. Anytime after that, you meant to do it. After the first time, you realize that it's a mistake. But you continue to do it. If you continue to do it, it's not a mistake. You want to do it. You meant to do it. You feel the need to do it. So stop saying you made a mistake. Stop saying you was in error. You purposely wanted to do it. Your mouth says you didn't, but your actions say you did. Can I say that again? Your mouth says that you didn't, but your actions say you did. The first time you do something, we can give you a mulligan. We can give you a pass. But if you continuously do it over and over again, you choose to do it over and over again. Can I say that again? If you keep doing the same wrong thing over and over and over, you meant to do it. The first time you might have been a mistake. You might not have known. Maybe somebody took it the wrong way. But when you continuously, at the time, keep doing it, you're doing it because you want to. Your mouth says you don't want to, but your actions say, yes, you did. You meant everything. How I know? Because you keep doing it. How do we know? Because you keep doing it. How? You keep repeating the same thing over and over. So obviously, you like to do it. If you say, I happen to be on the internet and I came across some porn. It was an accident. Okay. But the next day, you watching it again. And the next day, you watching it again. And next week, you're watching it again. The first time, you might have came across it by accident. Maybe you hit a wrong link. Maybe you typed in the keyword that brought something up. That's believable. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. That wasn't no mistake. You wanted it to go there. I'm telling everybody, oh, you know, I was just watching it by accident. It just came on the screen. No. You continuously wanted to do it. I have no connection to the roast sector anymore. None. But there are still people that some of my 24 channels are sub to. If I happen to go on one of them channels to make sure they okay, I might see somebody who I ain't seen in months. I see the title or the headline. 99.9% of the time, I keep going. But if it's something catchy, maybe I might click it for a second. See what it was about, and then move on. But if I'm constantly coming back every day, then I can't say I don't have a connection, because I'm coming back every day, getting the dirt, getting the lowdown, finding out what's going on. I'm connected. So for me to come here and say, well, you know, I don't know nothing about what's going on, but I'm going there every day to find out. You lying to yourself, and you're lying to everybody else. You can make a mistake one time. But if you keep doing it, you keep going back to that same era, you want it. You know, I made a mistake, I found an old bottle of rum. It was way back in the cupboards. I didn't know it was there. And it was there, so, I drank it. It was there. It's my fault. I went through everything. All my cupboards, went through the basement. I made sure there's no more liquor in the house. I won't be making that same mistake again. But next time somebody come by, you sitting there with a drink in your hand. What are they to think? Oh, you were snoring me. You were just lying. They come by again. You sitting there with the drink in your hand. I thought it was an accident. Oh, I thought, it wouldn't be no harm to get a little drink. Well, you don't need a drink. You don't know how to handle it. I got it. I got it under control. You come by and see him again. Guess what? Oh, they start drinking. I thought that was a one-time mistake. I came by and caught you 4 times. I'm going to go through your cabinet. You go in the cabinet, they sit there hidden in the back. They got about 5 or 6 bottles back there hidden. You got to look for it, but they got it hidden. So the other people in the house might not see it. Because they ain't looking. Because they taking you at your word that you ain't doing nothing. They taking you at your word. But when you start to see the evidence that you still doing it, I can't take your word. Your word doesn't mean anything. And if I can't take your word on that, how can I take your word on anything else? What else are you hiding? What other secrets do you have? What do you have in the cupboards? What do you have in your closet? What kind of skeletons? This is why you have to use your level of discernment. We are not allowed to judge anybody as a person. But we can judge what it is that they do. You can judge a person's actions. A lot of people don't understand that. I've been saying it for years, but some people don't understand it. Don't just take a person at their word. Watch what they do. Why do you think I bring y'all along? I couldn't bring y'all to the place today because I ain't had time to set everything up. I left out of here. I didn't have none of this on. It was in the basket of the scooter. Luckily, I had the scooter at the door. I put it together in the kitchen and had it right by the door. I got up, ran in the bathroom, scrubbed myself as fast as I could, came back out, put my socks and pants and shoes on, put my sweater on, ran outside, checked the balcony, make sure the lady ain't pull off. She didn't. Came back in, grabbed my jacket, threw it on the back. Lady called again. I said, ma'am, I'm waiting on the elevator. I'm coming. I said, ma'am, I'm coming. She sat there and she waited the 20 minutes. Why she did? That's between her and God. Because I would have been pulled off. After about 5 minutes, you ain't coming, I'm gone. She stayed there 20 minutes and waited. Luckily, there was nobody else on the bus. And I got to the appointment. An appointment that I never would have went on my own. I filled the paperwork out because it was in the stack of paperwork. It wasn't my intent. I've been telling y'all for years. I'm not no cripple. I don't want to be sitting on there with them people on them power chairs, and I don't want to do that. But you know what? It's a good resource. Even though I found it embarrassing to be sitting in that mobility scooter. And to me, it's embarrassing. I was the only person at the place. There was some people that had the walkers, you know, the kind of walkers you can sit down in. You can sit down on one side, the other side you walk it with. There was a person in a wheelchair. I was the only person in the whole place that had a mobility scooter. Because I had that scooter, because I could have just went without it. But that scooter is my guarantee to get in the program. It's my guarantee. It kept me from having to walk the course. They have a course for you to walk. They got stairs on it. They got a course for you to walk. Because of the scooter. And I told the lady, I can't go more than a block without having to stop. So when we got there, I started to get up here. What are you getting up for? I said, don't I got to walk the course? Because my lady friend said that when they were at the mall, they had that big parking lot. They had a spot on the parking lot where you had to go out there and then you had to walk and go through these obstacles. Well, now they got a new building and they got an obstacle course inside. She was like, well, you can't walk more than a block. So we know you can't catch the bus. Y'all know I hate riding the bus. Y'all know it. Anybody that watch me know, I can't stand getting on the bus. I'm talking about the MTA bus. Y'all notice every time we go on the big road, there's an MTA bus in front of us. That's the devil. He know I can't stand him. I can't stand riding the bus. I hate to ride the bus. He knows it. So they know that I cannot walk to the bus stop. That's good. But my biggest fear about being on the bus is, number one, sitting on the bench and falling asleep. Getting on the bus and falling asleep. For some reason, if I'm out and I'm dressed and I'm out, if I sit somewhere too long, I go to sleep. And I wake up. Don't know where I am. Pockets picked, phone's gone. The one thing about the bike is you got to be alert. You can't go to sleep. I wanted to get a tricycle, an electric tricycle. I'm afraid I'm going to fall asleep. We're going to ride someplace. I'm going to be talking to y'all, sitting back, checking out the waterfront or something. I'm going to fall asleep and wake up in the river or wake up in the harbor. But God said, you need this resource. The only dentist, the only surgical dentist I can get to that my company, my health company deals with is at Harbor Hospital. That means I have to go over the drawbridge. If I don't go over the drawbridge, then that means I got to ride through Westport. Anybody know anything about Baltimore City, you know that Westport is one of the most dangerous places to go. You're down by the swamp, it's forgotten about. You can go in there and not come back out and won't nobody find you for a while. I think that that's one of the most dangerous places. That area down there, it's forgotten about. But I was willing to do it because I know that I can get there on the bike. All the other dentists they have is on the west side. To get up that mountain, whether I take Cold Spring or whether I take Northern Parkway, those of you that watch me, we've gone on Google and I've shown you. That's too much stress to put on an e-bike. That means I would have to walk it. That hill is so steep and long. Whether you take Northern Parkway or whether you take Cold Spring Lane, once you cross Green Spring on Northern Parkway, when you cross Falls Road and you go over 83, it's all uphill. Coming up there is going to wear the motor out. It's going to kill the battery. If you try to go up Cold Spring, it's only one lane on each side. It's a smaller street, but it's steep as hell. When I say steep, I mean steep. It's steep and it's long. Y'all see the hills that we do? Them hills ain't nothing. Why do you think we go them ways? Less stress on the bike. Less stress on the bike. That hill, when we cross the tracks, the hill coming here, that hill is nothing compared to trying to go up Northern Parkway or trying to come up Cold Spring when you pass Green Spring. Now, Green Spring on the Cold Spring side, but when you cross Falls Road and go over the highway, man, that is the longest, steepest. It is steep. So I would have to do that. I would need 4 batteries to make that trip. Because I'm going to kill 1 battery just on that alone. And we're going to have to pull over, get halfway up, stop for like 20, 25 minutes, let the motor cool down. If I try to walk the bike up one of them hills, I'm going to be in the hospital. So I do need this to get this done. If I want to get this grill fixed, I got to do it. I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. I was supposed to be there at 11:30. I got a call late yesterday saying the bus will be there. And there was another lady that was on the way back. She said she supposed to be there at 11:32. And they called her and told her to be there at 9:30. So it wasn't just me. But we have been up that time of day all week. Now today, I laid down at 2 o'clock. We still got an hour and a half of the wrestling to watch. Because I stopped it and put on some scan baiting and I laid down. I made myself lay down. And I didn't get back up. And somehow, I didn't hear I set the alarms on the phone. Somehow I didn't hear the alarms. But I heard the lady call. I jumped up. I was like, oh no. I went and ran, looked over the balcony, and saw the bus pulling up. I said, oh my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I could have tapped out. That's what the devil wanted. The devil said, yeah, it takes him forever to get ready. He will never get down there. Well, guess what? I got down there. I did what I had to do. The lady waited. That's how I knew. You know, because I really didn't want to go. My will, my ego was to say no. I'm not crippled. I don't want to be with them people. I might can't walk far, but I don't need that. It wasn't as bad as the voice in my head was telling me it was. See, instead of following my will, I followed God's will. Instead of trying to rationalize, try to make excuses, try to come up with explanations, I said, you know what? God want me to do this. And as long as that lady sit there and wait, I'm going to do what I can to get downstairs. And it worked. So God knew I needed this. Even though I knew I needed it too, my pride wouldn't let me take it. My pride would not let me take it. It been offered to me several times. My pride wouldn't let me do it. When the healthcare company offered me the transportation ride, just like with the free food they offer, there's a limitation. It's got to be for the doctors. You got to get on 3 days notice. 3 business days notice. They might come, they might not. They left us stranded for 3 hours. I couldn't even go live. I'm on the phone with a lady. She trying to get me a ride. Took her 3 hours to get me a ride back. I couldn't even go live and say, hey. At least I could have hung out with y'all for the 3 hours. But now, all I got to do is give the driver $3 and show my card. And I'm not going to be on the bus with thugs and criminals. Unless they cripple thugs and criminals. So, if I do fall asleep, hopefully I won't wake up robbed. Even though I didn't want to do it. Instead of doing my will, I did God's will. God wanted me to do it. This is the difference between having a connection with God. Even though my ego would have never let me have done it, I had to let what I wanted go and do what God wanted. I had to let what I wanted go. When I got to the place, I was the only person. Everybody else was sitting down in the chair. I'm sitting there in the mobility scooter. There ain't no place for me. I'm in the middle of the aisle. blocking everything. I'm so embarrassed. But then an old white man came in the wheelchair, and he pulled up behind me. I didn't feel as bad. Then the old white lady came slumpering in, and she had that kind of walker, that you push. And then she turned it around in front of me and sat down. So now instead of me just sitting there on the end, it's three of us now. Now I don't stand out. The people were talking. Look at him. He's all ravened out. He even got the boots on. What he got the boots on? It wasn't as bad as the voice in my head would tell me it was. The people didn't look down on me. Like the voice in the head was saying, they're going to think there's something wrong with you. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? But that's what the voice in your head, the demonic voice, tries to control you and keep you from getting things that you need. How does this tie into the sermon? Well, let's read. You can never make the same mistake twice, because the second time, it's not a mistake. It's a choice. The first time, okay. The second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. How many opportunities have you let go because something went wrong? When it's something that God don't want you to do, you're not going to find no help. The fact that that lady didn't pull off, that let me know. The fact that she called back 3 times. On the ride back, the woman on the bus said, if I was on that bus, I would have cussed that bus driver out. Sitting there waiting 20 minutes for somebody. And I said, that's why God made sure you were anointed. Because we had the same appointment time. He made sure you were anointed. And that marinate. If she had been on the bus moaning and groaning, fussing and cussing, that driver would have pulled off. God made sure she wasn't on that bus. This is what he wanted me to do. That same lady told me that I need to look into seeing if the health company will pay an attendant to come by. Maybe 4 times a week. To come by, clean, check on me and everything. I said, I ain't no cripple. She said, what that got to do with anything? If you can get it, get it. So tomorrow we're going to call and we're going to find out, do I qualify? If I do qualify for somebody to come by, clean, why not? What I got to lose? But see, that voice in my head to say, you're not a cripple. You can clean your own place. You don't need nobody to come by and check on you. You all right. That same woman who said she would have told the bus driver to pull off and leave me was the same woman who put me down with maybe I qualify for that program. So God made sure she wasn't on the bus when the bus came. But he got her there to give me further knowledge. You understand how God works? In one situation, she would have been disastrous. In the other situation, she was helpful. Get a connection to God. If you don't do anything else, get your connection. You got to start with Jesus. Get a connection with him first. so you can get that connection with God. If you don't, you always going to be on the outside looking in. And even when you're in, you still going to feel like you on the outside looking in. Get the connection so that you can really live. The stuff the media telling you, it don't fulfill you. Do what you were created to do. Not what this world wants you to do. But the creators of this world want you to do. So, you can never make the same mistake twice, because the second time is not a mistake. Let's see what these people got to say. Amen. I think y'all can see that on y'all screen. Repeating folly. What does folly mean? Folly means foolishness. Being ignorant and thinking you funny. Silliness. Proverbs 23 to 26. Let's check this out. Never seen this before. As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Proverbs 26:11. What does that mean? I think it's self-explanatory. When a human being throws up, they get up and clean it up. I hope nobody saw him do it. When a dog throws up, he comes back and licks it. That's a second meal. Isn't that foolish? If the body rejected it the first time, why would you come back and re-ingest it? Why would you take it back in? If your body threw it out, rejected it, why would you put it back in? Because the dog's stupid, that's why. How many people keep making mistakes and going back and making them again? You saw it was a mistake, but yet you keep doing it. It's foolish. Let's see what they got to say. You ever wonder why some people make the same mistakes over and over again? More importantly, as I look at myself, why do I find myself repeating the same mistakes over and over? The book of Proverbs has much to say regarding the subject of repeating folly. The foolish person appears to take pride in being foolish. What? The foolish person appears to take pride in being foolish. I've seen people be around dignified people and say something stupid and then be happy about it. I've seen people do something horrific to somebody and turn to everybody else and act like they did something great. The foolish person appears to take pride in being foolish. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. I explained to y'all about discernment earlier. You can't judge nobody on the person, but you can judge them. You can discern. What does discern mean? Observe. Take note. Research. Their actions. Remember I told you about the parable. I believe it's in the Gospel of Matthew, Well, Jesus says a man has two sons. It's time to go glean the fields. That means it's time to go gather the crop so you can sell them and get your money. Well, the man can't do it by himself. He got two able-bodied sons to help him. He asked the first son, hey, it's crop time. I need you to help me out. The son said, man, I got a bad thing to do. I ain't got time for with that. No, I ain't coming. He asked the second son. The second son says, yes, I will be there gladly, Dad. Well, the time came to go do it. The son that said he wasn't coming was there. The son who said he was coming never showed up. Which son did the will of his father? Which one did the will of his father? The one who said, no, I won't go, but then did it. Or the one that said he will go and didn't do it. So you're not judging by what they said. You judging by what they did. The same way today. If I was not linked to God, I would have done what I've always done. Oh, well, it's too late. They're already here. I'm still in the bed. How am I going to get ready? Even after I start the mobile live, it still takes us 15 minutes to leave. And I'm dressed already. How am I going to get down to this bus in time before she pull off? Why is it here early? But I said to myself, I kept looking over the balcony. She's still there. God wants this. Yesterday on the phone, I was talking to somebody after I got the recording. And I told her, I said, look, I really don't even want this. But it's an opportunity. Can I reschedule? She says, you're going to have to wait a couple months. And the spirit said, no, go. So I told her, hold on, ma'am, I'll take it. Even though I didn't want to. The same way, the son that said he wouldn't come, he didn't want to go. But he realized it was important to his father. He realized it was important to his family. He realized if he wanted to eat, they need to gather them crops and go trade for money or other food so they can eat. He did the will of his father. The other son, they rightly said, yeah, I'll be there. That's what he said out of his mouth. But when time came down, he didn't come. He followed his own will. How many times have you asked somebody to do something and they say, yeah, I'll do it, and then they don't come? How many of y'all had to move? And you tell your friends, hey, I need you to help me move. How many of them swear they're going to be there? They'll even call you, hey, you said tomorrow, right? I'll be there. Time come, they ain't there. You call them, they don't answer the phone. A few days later, they call you back. Hey, did the move go well? You go, yeah, we got through it, but wasn't you supposed to help? They're going to be like, well, you know, this came up and, you know, that came up. I really wanted to help you out, but, you know, I couldn't. That's the kind of person you don't want to trust. You don't want to put no faith in. Might be the greatest person in the world. Might be the life of the party. Might be a good person. but his word don't mean nothing. So now you know you can't depend on him. That don't mean shun him. That don't mean don't talk to him no more. That don't mean don't hang around him. But what it means is you can't put no faith in him. You got to learn by the action. That's where you can judge. You can judge the action. So if somebody keep making errors in front of you that affect you, and they keep telling you, oh, well, you can't judge me. You gotta forgive me. I can use my level of discernment and say, hey, I can't fool with you. I don't hate you. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about you, but I can't depend on you. I can't trust you. I can't be around you. And if you tell somebody that they can't do that, then guess what? You full of folly. You foolish. You're ignorant. You're dumb. You're stupid. You keep making excuses to why you can't do what you're supposed to do. And everybody else is supposed to turn their head, to pretend. You're putting that on somebody else. It's not right. It is not right. Well, you know, I don't care what Mr. BROTHADERRICK said. Well, it's right there in front of you. You can't read? Stop taking pride in doing foolish things. Stop taking pride in hurting people, letting people down. Stop taking pride in it. Yeah, you know, I told Mama I was going to come by and help her, but, you know, I know that she need help. She old now, but, you know, it was more important for me, you know, to go shoot dice with the boys. But you told her you'd be there. Oh, she be all right. My other brother help her out, or my sister help her out, or the neighbor across the street to help her out. Guess what's going to happen? Mama going to stop calling you. And then you're going to be like, how come she don't call me no more? I used to be her favorite son. Now she don't call me at all. That's not right of her. She shouldn't judge me. I'm just as good as everybody else. No, you ain't. You ain't dependable. Why should she call you? She could be having a heart attack or stroke or something. She called you, you don't come. Lay there and die, waiting on you to come. But that voice in your head to tell you that you're right even when you're wrong. That's why you can't listen to it. That voice in your head tell you right even when you're wrong. But every person that's going to say, I like how he got everything Raven. There's going to be somebody to say, look at that idiot. He got all that Raven stuff on. Look at him, that damn idiot. Sorry, football team. What the hell? There's always going to be somebody like that. But you can't worry about what somebody might say. Screw them. There will never be any benefit to you. There will only be a detriment. Even when they're supposed to be helping you, they still gonna hurt you. Even when they offer something, there's something behind the curtain that they ain't telling you that's gonna come out later on. And then when you say, hey, I see that, they say, hey, but didn't I help you? Hey, didn't I take you somewhere? Or hey, didn't I give you something? So you supposed to ignore that. You asked to help volunteer with the kids, and I find out you messing with them. Okay, it was a mistake. You know, just forget you didn't see that. You know, I've been volunteering. I help with feeding them. I help with clothing drives. I donate a lot of money to make sure they get the best school and they got school supplies. Ignore the fact, you know, that I mess with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Ignore that. You didn't see that. Look at the good stuff I do. That's evil. Showing you itself. Don't look at the bad stuff I do. Look at the good stuff. Don't look at the mistakes I make. Ignore them. Focus on the good. Only foolish people think that way. They are demonically possessed. They can only hurt. They act like they helping. On the outside looking in, they act like they helping. You know, I do this and I do that. You know, I got my name on the building. You know, I bought them a new gym, and you know, but in the showers of that new gym, I'm touching them. But ignore that. You know, don't pay that no mind. You know, yeah. You're being negative now. You're picking the positive stuff I'm doing. That's folly. That's foolish thinking. Stop letting evil come into your presence. Shun it. You have the right to shun evil. Don't let nobody tell you, well, you can't judge me. You're absolutely right. But I can judge that evil you do. And I don't want it around me. I don't want it around my kids. I don't want it around my family. Get away. I'm not going nowhere. Yes, you is. You ain't coming around here. Well, I'm going to go find some more evil people. And we're going to come overthrow you. And we're going to put our evil in this area. And you won't be able to do nothing about it. Because good people don't link up. But evil people, they can come from different countries, speak different languages. We all hook up. Because we all speak the same language. We want to do damage. We want to come in and take away the morality, take away common sense, take away logic. We want to get rid of all that. We want to get rid of all that. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of discernment. But a man of understanding walks uprightly. Proverbs 15:21. The fool has convinced himself that he is right and everyone else is wrong. What? The fool has convinced himself that he is right and everyone else is wrong. I don't know who wrote this, but they on point. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. You know, somebody tried to call me out. And they were like, if you eat these donuts, it's going to take your sugar out of whack. I told the person, I know this, but that I talked to the lady at the Collaborative Diabetes Management Center on the same floor with my endocrinologist. The lady told me, you can have it. You can eat one of your donuts, but you can't have any more sugar for a 2-hour period. You gotta give your body a chance to break it down. But if you have 3 or 4 of them, it's gonna take your body a day to break it down. You have 3 or 4 at a time. you notice you don't see me get more than 6. Why? Because if I eat one and then go 6, 7 hours and not eat one, and then have another one and go 6, 7 hours and not eat one, and I'm not eating sugar, my body can break that down, and it won't affect my sugar level too bad. But if I gorge on it, the same way an alcoholic can drink, they can have a beer, and then 7 to 8 hours later, have a beer, and then sometime the next day, have a beer. That's not alcoholic. That's a functioning. That's not even functioning alcoholic. That's not alcoholic. Somebody can do crack on the weekend and go to work the rest of the week and not do crack. Some people do crack, get in love with that feeling, and can't manage it. And they gotta have it. One hit after another, after another, after another. People on heroin. Somebody can do heroin on the weekend and go work during the week and be functional. Some people do the heroin, they got to have it every 4 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours. They take one hit, and their first thought is, how am I going to get the next one? That's not managing. If you can manage your addiction, you're not addicted. Not being able to manage. That's what addiction means. You can't control it. I was trying to figure out why my sugar has been so high lately. I came across the sugar-free cookies. I'm trying to figure out, well, what's causing the rise? Why am I going from 113 to 150 to 160? I got up one day last week, and before I did anything, because I didn't feel like getting up and cooking, they're the wafers. They about this big, about that long. I ate 6 of them. Got up, took my insulin, took my medicine, and I went to check my sugar. I was in the 200s. Well, I hadn't ate anything since midnight. Now it's 8 in the morning. I've only had 6 cookies. So even though they said sugar-free, just 6 of them. And they wafers. They about that thick, about that long, but I had 6 of them. Took me into the 200s. Now, if I go, we just went to the market. If I go buy them cookies again, and they were good. I knew there was a reason why they were so good. If I go buy them cookies again, knowing what they do to my sugar levels, they say they sugar-free. Not to my body. Whatever they putting in there, my body is sucking it in just like it's sucking sugar. It's sucking it in and raising my levels. By me monitoring what I'm doing, it's easy for me to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I can change it. Y'all notice we went to the market today. Did you see me buying the cookies? No, you didn't. Because I'm able to discern and make a judgment on what I should get. Now, did I get some donuts? Yes, I did. But I don't get the donuts with all the damn sugar in it. I can make myself believe, even though they're not sweet. They don't have the sugar that I like. I can make myself believe that, hey, at least I can eat donut. Maybe I believe I'm eating donut. I can pretend the same way I pretend that this is a cigarette. It took a while. Now, we used to chew the gum. Y'all say y'all like me smacking on the show. That's what the women said. They didn't like me smacking on the show. Through experimentation, we came across these. Through experimentation, we came across these. Not only do they not make me hit the ground after I use it, I can help one anywhere. They even give you a container at the back. After you use them, you can stick them in the container. You don't need to throw them in the trash. Now, the gum was harder to manage. And if you left gum in your pocket and washed it, it makes your clothes up. But ain't nothing but a little pouch. But it's giving you something to do. It doesn't have all the thousands of carcinogens and bad things that a cigarette has. It just got cinnamon and a little bit of nicotine in it. So you satisfy your body's craving for the nicotine without all the other derivatives. The carbon dioxide, the stuff that they use to keep your body alive while you dead, the stuff that the funeral home use, I forgot what it's called. But I know if it can keep your body from rotting until the funeral, formaldehyde, what does it do to somebody living? Each time you pick up a cigarette or cigar or some weed, ask yourself the question, what does that do to your body? If it keep you alive and keep you from rotting after you dead, what does it do when you're alive? What's it doing inside your body? I don't know, but having a weak heart and smoking has got me into the position that I'm in. Having a poor diet along with that got me to diabetes. Now, I could be somewhere, anywhere, and I say, well, it's time for a smoke break. I don't have to get up and go outside. If it's a beautiful day, I might go outside or go outside on the balcony and just look out and just pop one in my mouth. Somebody will come out with a cigarette and go, hey, why are you doing that? You need to get a real cigarette. You wasting your time doing that. Only thing I don't like, you gonna be in the same spot I'm in. Same way I told you about the crack addict that's still functional. That the kids still got clothes on. That the kids got school books. That it's a half a box of cereal on top of the refrigerator and a half a gallon of milk. And it might be a half pack of cookies in the cupboard. She'll tell you, I'm all right. Check out the lady down the hall. Her kids come here asking for something to eat. You need to worry about her. She's only 6 months to a year away from being that lady down the hall. But she'll shout you down. I don't need no help. I'm all right. She's only 6 months to a year from being the woman that she looked down on. 6 months to a year, she's going to be in the same position that woman down the hall is, and there's going to be another addict on the same floor that's going to say, hey, I'm still taking care of my kids. I'm handling my business. If I want to smoke crack, that's what I want to do. None of your business. When I get like a lady down the hall, the same lady 6 months ago was saying, look at the lady further down the hall, then come talk to me. The one thing you find out is no matter how bad off you are, there's somebody worse. And I can tell you, going for that interview today, I saw people, man, that's in bad shape. I saw people that, you know, if I wanted to sit and feel depressed, man, I ain't them. I ain't bad as they are. That's a terrible thing to say. There are people who would love to be where you are right now. You are your brother's keeper. Because somebody's looking at you. Even if you barely paying your bills. You're barely holding your household together. There's somebody that lost their household and wish that they still had the household together. There's somebody in a hospice that look out the window and see somebody walking by. They might not even be walking. They might be limping. They might be in a power chair. They saying, man, I ain't been outside in so long. I would love to be in that person. But that person in that power chair is saying, looking at somebody jogging and saying, I love to be jogging. How many people did we pass today that were out there jogging? I would kill to be out there jogging with them. I used to jog before I got sick. Jogging now could put me in the hospital. How many people on bikes did we see today? Y'all remember in the beginning, we all smoked somebody. It was somebody jogging and somebody on the bike, and we smoked them. But I didn't smoke them. The bike did. I would kill to be able to ride a regular bike. I'm still looking for a safe place that's on level ground. I don't know why, but they've locked up the tracks. Something about, I don't know what it is, but they have locked up the tracks. I gotta find a safe high school that got a track. If y'all remember, we learned how to ride. The first bike we got, we went behind that elementary school. It wasn't a lot of space back there, but that's how we learned how to ride the bike. There's a racetrack on the other side of them trees, because it's up the hill, but on the other side of them trees is a high school. They got a track, but they lock it up. On the other side of the street on Loch Raven, there's a college. It's a small college. They got a racetrack. They got it locked up, but they got security riding around. When we ride through John Hopkins University, they got a big track, beautiful track. They got security. One day I'm going to ask them, can I go and use the track? I know they're going to say it's for the college kids only. But one day I'm going to go ask them. Now we live further away from the track. It's a high school across the street. I see a field. I see it got a baseball field there. I don't see a track. But because of where it is, if somebody see me out there every day, somebody gonna come looking. I don't want to go there. They've been working on Druid Hill for years. I've been trying to go back up Druid Hill. They've been working on it for years. It's got level parts. It's got uphill parts. Great place to go try to use the bike without the motor. I don't want to go too far from the house because what if something go wrong? I don't want to be too far from the house. Yet, I'm in the projects. You don't want to be weak. But we got to find a place where there's a track that's not guarded. A track that's not locked up. Where I can just go. Some of y'all say, well, what about that spot you went to next to the stream? We went down there and almost got ate up by dogs. I thought I was in the Roots movie. I'm going to find a place where I can go, and I'm going to slowly but surely try to ride the bike without the motor. We're going to find a nice, smooth pavement that's level where I can go and practice. It's a goal. When the time is right, God is going to show me where to go. Maybe my body's not ready yet. See, the mind is ready. The flesh is weak. The mind is ready. The mind tells you can do anything. And you go out there and get your feelings hurt. Voice in your ear to tell you, yeah, that thug picking on everybody. He ain't bothering you, but maybe you should go be a hero. And then you go out there and you get beat up. Because your mind told you can do it. Listen to that voice in your head. You find out your body saying, hell no. Cover up. And then a bully picking on you every day when you weren't paying you no mind. Because you didn't do what the Bible say and go the other way. You went right into the heart of it. Now you the target. Because you were foolish. Pride goes before destruction. And a haughty spirit before a fall. Wait a minute. Pride goes before destruction. What does that mean? Pride, your ego. The same ego that kept me from using a resource that I could be using. Matter of fact, there's all kind of programs here they offer. I won't take advantage of them. Because my pride won't let me. See, if I start taking advantage of these programs, then I have to admit that I'm disabled. As long as I can pretend I'm not disabled, I can make myself believe. I can pretend I'm not disabled. But I am. The voice in your ear to tell you, Meals on Wheels, you can cook, you better than that. There's a guy to give haircuts. You can shave your own hair. What do you get a haircut for? The voice ain't here to say. Or the voice here to say, you don't know who using them clippers on. You don't know who was in that chair before you. That's what the voice in your head say. That pride, that ego won't let you do things, even if it's beneficial. It's folly, it's foolishness. Pride goes before destruction. Instead of doing the things that can help and benefit you, you do things that will slowly destroy you because you won't give in. You won't let go. You got to be in control. You got to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And a hardy spirit before fall. Might have to Google that word hardy, but I can use logic and know that hardy means a foolish spirit. Somebody that say the stupidest stuff out their mouth, like, hey, you know, you ain't supposed to jump down this wall, but I can do it. No, you can't. You gonna break your leg or something. I can do it. Watch me. And then you go jump down the wall and break your leg. Foolishness, silliness, just stupidity. Throwing logic out the window. Rather than humbling themselves before God and trying to learn, the fool considers lightly the consequences of his sin and deceives not only his own heart, but he also works at trying to deceive others as well. What? Rather than humbling himself before God and trying to learn, the fool considers lightly the consequences of his sin and deceives not only himself, but also works at trying to deceive others as well. So not only do they ignore the will of God, they try to impose their own will, and not just on themselves. They try to bring their own will, their own sense of values, their own sense of common sense, their own sense of logic. They try to impose it on others to make them do the same stupid stuff that they doing, so that when somebody upright comes by and says, hey, why are you doing that mess? Hey, John doing it, Jane doing it, Joe doing it, Jack doing it. Why are you picking on me? We all doing it. Why don't you come join us? Why you want to be the odd man out? Come on and join us. That's what evil does. That's what a fool does. And a fool gets joy out of making other people fools. Y'all understand what I'm saying? A fool takes joy in making other people foolish. And it makes them feel better because they got you to come down to that level of foolishness. So now you're a bigger fool than they are. And they feel good about themselves. They feel better about themselves. That's what happens when you're not connected to God. You'll put up with anything. You'll learn to accept anything. You'll be down for anything. How many times you heard somebody say, I'm down for anything. I'm down for that. Let's go rob this bank. Man, you know you're going to get caught. I get chicken. No, I'm down for that. Let's go. Tell them, yeah, I'm chicken. I don't want to sit in jail for 20 years. I'm going down and earn some money. Or I got to go steal it. And that makes sense? I'd rather have a little bit of money all my life and be free than to have a lot of money, the dye pack explode, the money ruined, you get caught, you get thrown in jail for 20 years, you come out, then you can't get a job because nobody want to hire you. No, I'd rather have a little bit of money all the time. Then they have a big amount and then can't make anymore. Now I gotta steal all the time. If I want to have a good looking woman, a man, I gotta steal all the time. If I want my kids to live nicely, I gotta steal all the time. Ain't nobody gonna hire me. I'm gonna be at Burger King or McDonald's. What size fry you want with that, man? You want your burger well done. Hey, Mr. Supervisor, you want me to clean the back of the toilets too? Or just the inside of the rim? That's where foolishness gets you. Because if you ain't owning the restaurant, if you ain't owning the janitorial company, you making crumbs. Give me something I can live on and raise a family on for the rest of my life, rather than trying to get one criminal thing and can't do nothing the rest of my life. You be in a worse position. A worse position. Being foolish. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the foolishness, the folly of fools is deceit. Fools mock at sin, but among the upright there is favor. What is that? The wisdom of the prudent, of the wise, is to understand his way. What do you mean his way? To understand his position in life. And to make the best of what they have. And be something that God can say, good job. Jesus can say, let me give you a pat on the back. But the foolish, the fools, is deceit. And this is what I meant earlier when I said that person come bring gifts, but there's a catch. They come being helpful. There's a catch. The catch is they come, but they hiding something. And later on, when you find out what that is, they try to lock you in. Well, I know I ain't supposed to be doing it, but look at all the good stuff I do. No, don't look at that. Anytime you hear somebody say, don't look at that, get away from them. Anytime somebody say, oh, ignore that. But it's glaring. I mean, it's literally staring me in the face. Don't pay it no mind. Just ignore it. That's why I tell you, if you see some dirt on the floor and you don't pick it up, next time you come by, it's going to be even more dirt. You don't pick it up, you ignore it. You come by, it's going to be more dirt. You ignore it. Months go by. The next time you come by, it's going to be covered in dirt. And guess what? Somebody who you ain't seen in years, or somebody that got authority over you, whether it be your boss, whether it be your in-laws, whether it be your landlord, whether it be your nosy neighbor, they're going to be right there. Look at that. You nasty. Look at that. But you had months to take care of that, but you didn't. You know why? Because you just ignored it. This is what evil asks you to do. For you to ignore it. Evil asks you to ignore something that's in your face. And instead of handling it, ignore it. And let this little thing become a big thing and a big thing. And before you know it, everybody around you is ignoring. And then one day, everybody messed up. Well, we all messed up, so I don't need y'all to fix nothing. We all messed up. I'm just as bad as you is. You're just as bad as I am. Let's just go on. Keep on in the foolishness. I don't need you trying to fix nothing. No need you trying to clean nothing up. No need you trying to put things in the right order. Just leave it. So now the values have been crushed. Your values about cleanliness have been crushed. Your values about making sure you're on time everywhere have been crushed. Your values about making sure that other people know you're dependable, crushed. People know they can rely on you, crushed. But you sitting there grinning. I got it. It's all under control. And people look at you like this sideways, like, really? Really? As a result, the foolish person often find themselves suffering hardship from their choices. Good understanding gains favor, but the way of the unfaithful is hard. Proverbs 13:15. The fool finds himself constantly having to endure punishment. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the fool's back. Proverbs 26:3. What? A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the fool's back. The fool finds himself constantly having to endure punishment. Moreover, the scriptures say judgments are prepared for scoffers and beatings for the backs of fools. What is a scoffer? A scoffer is somebody that sees somebody trying to do something positive and come in there with that smart comment. Oh, man, you think you're doing something. You ain't doing nothing. I see you exercising, but you're still fat. I see you not using that crack, but you know you want it. You ain't fooling nobody. You know you want it. Go ahead and get it. You know you want to drink. Go ahead. Here's one. Here's a beer right here. Go ahead, drink. That's a scoffer. That's a scoffer. Somebody that sees somebody trying to do something, they know they can't do nothing. They don't have a desire to do anything. They don't have no desire to improve themselves, but they pass their time by bringing other people down. And as long as everybody down, they don't stand out. How many of you have had siblings or cousins that when you were growing up, they were doing great things? They were on the football team, the basketball team. They were doing great in gymnastics. They were on the debate team. And the parents would say, oh, you brought home another award? What a great child I got. And they look at you and go, oh, Lord, what, you got some more D's? Instead of trying to improve yourself, you start looking at your siblings or your cousins and saying, what can I find on them that I could take to my parents and say, look at them. Look at this. You talk about me, but look at what they doing. Yeah, they might be excelling and all of that, but look at this. Look at this. Before you step to me, look at this. How many times y'all seen it done? I can't beat you head to head, but I'm going to go around the way. I'm going to dig up something on you. I'm going to find somebody in your family that ain't right. And I'm going to use it to bring you down. I ain't got nothing to do with what my uncle did in Jersey. Well, if your uncle in Jersey did that, that means you can do it. Because you related to him. So we can't trust you. You had an aunt that was a prostitute in Las Vegas. Well, I live in Florida. I don't live nowhere near Las Vegas. Yeah, but that was your aunt. So, how many other prostitutes in your family? I don't see how that ties in. But all you got to do is find another fool. Yeah. You know what? Matter of fact, he had a sister that was, she was kind of, around the way girl, and fools stick together. Evil sticks together. Punishment is afflicted upon the fool in an attempt to beat wisdom into him. Punishment is afflicted upon the fool in an attempt to beat wisdom into him. You know, people would tell me when I get into a fight with somebody, I'm preaching to them as I'm hitting them. That's the first thing that came to mind when I read that. That was a dude that was known for chasing people down and shooting at them. This dude came to me and said, I was at the bus stop waiting for the bus. And I saw what happened, and I saw you tackle that dude, spear him into the curb, and I saw you jump on his back. And I saw you beating him in the head with the rings on your fingers. And he said, the one thing that caught my attention was, you was preaching to him. How do you hurt somebody and preach to him at the same time? Well, there you go. I wish he was here. Punishment is afflicted upon the fool in an attempt to beat wisdom into him. Is that what I was doing? Because y'all know one of my favorite words is, if I can't teach you the Bible, I'll beat you upside the head with it. But there it is right there in your face. Punishment is afflicted upon the fool in an attempt to beat wisdom in him. Strike a scoffer, and the simple will become wary. Rebuke the one who has understanding, and he will discern knowledge. So if you strike a scoffer, you strike a simpleton, they'll become wary of you. In your presence, they won't practice their foolishness. They'll wait till you leave and then go back to the foolishness. So you can get them to straighten up as long as you're there. You know, in the olden days, teachers had rulers. And a teacher could beat you in front of the class, or they could rap you across your knuckles with the ruler. This was done to embarrass you and to get you to behave while you were in the class. But the minute the teacher left the room, the foolishness would return. And they would start joking, throwing spitballs, doing all kinds of stuff. When the teacher come back, they straighten up. So a scoffer will become wary and will straighten up when someone they fear is around. But the minute the coast is clear, they go right back to the foolishness. That's one thing I notice about evil people. When they recognize good people, they straighten up. But the minute them good people leave, they go right back to doing the evil. Furthermore, Solomon adds, when the scoffer is punished, the simple is made wise. But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. I'll add to that. When a scoffer is punished, the simple is made wise. Some might straighten up. The majority will wise up enough to be in the presence of the person that scolds them. But once again, the minute they in the free and clear, they go right back to the foolishness. However, instead of learning from his mistakes, the fool just continues to repeat them. Instead of learning from his mistakes, the fool just continues to repeat them. Though you grind the food in a mortar with a pestle along with crushed grain, yet his foolishness will not depart from him. So even if you call the person out, you point out what they're doing wrong, you spank or beat them, they will not let go of the foolishness. It will always return. If you have a child, or when you were a child, how many times do you had to beat a child or get beaten? And you stopped doing what you were doing for a while. But sooner or later, much time sooner, you were getting beat again for the same thing. How many of you? Anybody want to testify? How many of you ever told to stop doing something? And you got in trouble for it, and you got whipped. And within a week or two, you were doing it again and got whipped again. That's true. It's hard to beat the foolishness out. If it's in you, it's in you. You got people that's on 23-hour lockdown. It takes 2 or 3 guards with them chained up just to take them anywhere. Because even though they at the bottom of the bottom, they on death row. They only get 1 hour of sunshine a day. They still going nut up, knowing that there's no way they can win if you don't have them cuffs on right. You don't have them leg shackles on right. You don't have at least 3 guards there. They gonna kirk out because they foolish. They still think, well, I can take this one guard, get the keys off of him, unchain myself, and I can break out of this prison. Because they foolish. The foolish person often continues to defend himself and isolates himself from all those who would try to help him. The foolish person often continues to defend himself and isolates himself from all those who would try to help him. He who was often rebuked and hardens his neck will suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. The foolish person often continues to defend himself and isolates himself from all those who would try to help him. He who was often rebuked and hardens his neck will suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Some of you are going to try to say, well, that's describing you, Minister Brother Derrick. And I humbly say to you, the people who I cut loose were doing more damage than good. And it would be foolish of me to surround myself with those people just so I can say, I got people. Well, I surround myself by fools. Aren't you guilty by association? Why surround yourself by fools? People that get you in trouble, that bring you down, that bring trouble to your doorstep. Even if they're related to you. Just so you can tell people that you got a relationship. It's better to have no relationship and have peace than it is to be around a bunch of fools and get caught up in their foolishness. He who was often rebuked and hardened his neck will suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Solomon adds, a man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. Some of you are going to say, that sounds like you, Mr. BROTHADERRICK. If that was the case, we wouldn't be sitting here in public housing, because I wouldn't want the help. 1, and 2, I'm in a building with 9 apartments. Why the heck, if I want to be isolated, why would I move to a building that got 300 apartments in one and 350 right next to it? I only had 8 other apartments, and one of them been empty for over a year. Remember we were trying to get it? I rode by there a couple weeks ago, remember? That apartment's still empty. There still ain't nobody on that first floor. If I was this kind of person, foolish, I'd still be at the old place, spending all my money on the rent and the BG&E, hoping to get that apartment that's still vacant. Nobody's still in that apartment. We rode by there, remember? Video's up. That apartment is still vacant. That apartment been vacant for over a year. If I was foolish, I would still be there. I wouldn't accept to come in here. If I wanted to be isolated, go look at the videos. See how many times that I actually was talking to somebody in the building. Very few. I can't go out of here without being accosted by somebody. Even though the foolish are suffering the consequences of their own actions, they often turn against God and blame them for their own self-caused misery. Even though the foolish are suffering the consequences of their own actions, fools are suffering. Am I suffering? See, I take y'all with me wherever I go. I can't hide. When you see me out and about, do I look sad? Do I look depressed? Do I look like I'm suffering? You see a light that's in me. I'm good. And I'm not just saying that for your benefit. I'm saying it in the truth. I'm good. You know, the lady asked me when I was doing recertification, she said, you didn't put an emergency contact down. I told her I don't have one. She says, well, if you have to go in the hospital, who should we call? Don't call nobody. She goes, well, what happens if you die? The people that clean my apartment out, they can have whatever's in there. That's their reward. Thank you. Drag my body out and keep what you want. Throw the rest in the trash can. And she gave me a look. And I gave her a look back. And she said, you don't have nobody to leave nothing to you? I said, nope. My little girl only lived 40 days. She died of SIDS. Sudden infant death syndrome. So I know she already dead. She ain't lived long enough to do any sinning. I got to make sure I get there. And I can't let this world and the people in it stop me from getting there. That's what I'm concerned about. Getting there. I want to see my little girl again. I ain't got to make another one. I'll make another one. I'm not going to be able to stop her from being attracted to this world. You know it, and I know it. The way the laws are set up. My girl already there, waiting on me. I'm going to reach her. She's already there waiting. I try and create another one. Unless they die before they're a year old, they ain't coming. And I can do all the preaching and teaching and all I want to do. Society is not going to let me raise a proper child. It's not. You know it because you see it in your own kids. You know it because you see it in yourself. You know I'm telling the truth. You see your neighbor's kids. You see your siblings' kids, your nieces and nephews. And you try to do for them, don't amount to nothing. Nothing. The only way is to isolate them. And you can't lock them up. They're going to escape. But my girl is waiting on me. Can I get there to join her? That's what's important. Can I get there? Messing around with the people in this world is going to keep me from getting there. Listening to that voice in my head that telling me do all these stupid things is going to keep me from getting there. Listening to people, listening to the fools we talk about is going to keep me from seeing my little girl again. It's easy to be weak and say, well, you know, I ain't no need in trying, you know, let me just go ahead. No. See, that would be a fool. I'm not that fool. You don't be that fool either. And I tell you something. When my little girl died of SIDS, I did turn against God. But he didn't give up. He kept hunting me down. Sending people. Sending me messages. Are you getting messages? Are people coming to you and saying, hey, come back? Are you ignoring them? Are you showing them away? Because I did it first. I was angry. My other sibling got kids. They just fine. Why did mine took it 40 days? What was I doing wrong? But in worrying about her and trying to make sure she had everything, her mother was doing all kinds of things behind the scenes. And by the time she died and I woke up and I saw it, I still didn't do anything. It wasn't until the bounty hunters came to my door looking for my baby's mother. That's when. Because she had got locked up. And I had broke away. And I found me a new woman. And one day we came from a nice dinner. And we came in and we got jumped by security guards. If she didn't have her ID on her, they were going to lock her up. Because they thought she was her. If she didn't have her ID, proving who she was. If I wasn't able to give them the papers showing that she was in prison already, because she had skipped bail, I didn't even know she got locked up. I was working so much. I can't let myself be surrounded by fools because they pull you into things. You can do all the right you want to do, but you get surrounded by the wrong people. That mess eventually affects you and you get pulled into the mess. I'm getting myself together. When I get to where I want to get to, when I feel it's right, or when God tells me it's right, then I'm going to start looking. But right now, I'm not worrying about it. I'm getting myself together so that I don't do these things that I'm telling y'all not to do. I've been down the road. Sooner or later, you got to get off that bad road, that bad path. And I'm trying to show you ways to do it. But if I'm on that road, if I'm going down that path, what right do I have to tell you not to get on it? How can I have any credibility if I'm going down that same road I'm telling you not to get on? That's why I don't understand. Why do old women that can't get a goddamn man and keep them for their life, why are they trying to advise young girls on how to get a husband? You couldn't do it. All you can do is teach them how to be you. And then you wonder why they wind up with 4 or 5 kids and nobody don't want them. Because they doing what you showed them how to do. What you know how to do. You didn't try to do better. And you convinced them not to do better. So how do you expect them to do better? How do you break the cycle? Somebody got to step out the game. Somebody got to get out the circle and say, I'm going to stand on my own. And people that's on the circle are going to say, you know what? That person doing all right. Maybe I ought to step out the circle too. Somebody got to be the guinea pig. Somebody got to be the one. Because, well, you know, you ain't clubbing, so you ain't living, you know. You ain't out here, you ain't going to Hawaii and Jamaica, so you ain't living. You're not out here on the street getting into what's getting in, you ain't living. But in reality, they slowly dying. But they've been convinced that they living. If you're not connected with God, you dying. I don't care what you got. You ain't right. And what you got can't make you right. You can convince yourself, well, you know, I'm doing all right. No, you're not. You are not doing all right. I'm noticing that the phone is spinning. It says, please check your network connection. The phone is spinning, but the other phone ain't spinning. One phone is spinning. It's spinning. Why is it spinning? I'm going to back out. See, this is a distraction. Let me do a refresh. It's spinning. I'm going to restart it. Because we just on YouTube. It's spinning. I tried to refresh YouTube, so I'm going to restart it. That phone's spinning. But this phone not. There's a distraction. That's the same phone we did a live stream with that stopped for no reason. That's why we replacing it this week. Come the 3rd, that phone getting replaced. But we'll talk about that later. This is the S8, and blessed always help us get this phone. And it served us well, and it's time to replace it. Now, normally, in order to replace this phone, we would have had to ask for help. And the show ain't showing up. Are we live? Because the show not showing up. Aren't we live? The show is not showing up. Where are we at? Where the show ain't showing up? I'm going to tell y'all something y'all ain't going to believe. We came up under the snow is done. This is what I mean when I say supernatural forces. Our video, Theology Tuesday, didn't show up. A video we did the other day called The Snow is Done. That video kept popping up saying live. So finally I hit it. And it brought us to today's show. Coincidence? I don't think so. But y'all are trying to tell me it is. Hold on. Let me get another drink. They should be ice cold right now. Give me a second now. Now let me move you on over here. My legs crack. Sit down so long. Get up, walk around for a minute. We'll get back into the sermon. Back into the sermon. Now, see, don't nobody be chatting, so I really don't even have to worry about having a chat up. Nobody ain't saying nothing. Everybody's scared to chat. I don't know why. But I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm right next to the projector. I'm this far from the table. If I just swing my hand, I will knock it over. That's why I'm concerned. If I even just swing my hand, I'm going to knock it over. But anyway, the foolishness of a man twists his way, and his heart frets against the Lord. The foolishness of a man twists his way. What do you mean his way? Instead of following and finding out what God wants him to do, Instead, he works against the Lord and does what he wants to do and tries to get people around him to do the same thing, to ignore the Lord and do what he wants them to do. Solomon summarizes the foolish person. Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. Proverbs 12:21. If somebody tries to correct me, I love it. Because you can always do better. There are times that I overdo things. But the reason I overdo them, I like to be beyond reproach. What does beyond reproach mean? Meaning that nobody can approach me and say, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. You don't have this, you don't have that. I'd be beyond reproach. That means when somebody evil try to come up to me and try to say I don't have something they have. Or if I do have something they have, well, you know, it ain't good as what I got. I look at them sideways and calmly explain. Bam, 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 bam. Is that what God want me to do? Not really. God want me to ignore him or instruct him. But, you know, I let him know. Like the dude that said to me, when I went downstairs to talk to the lady about the rent and she blew me off. That was the Friday before the 3rd. I mean, I'm sorry. That was the Friday before New Year's. I was sitting down there waiting for her to come out. And young boy was sitting there also. Said to me, you must really like the Ravens. Why you like that sorry team? Why you got all that stuff on? And I turned to him and said, well, I said to everybody. I said, somebody like you will get a car. And it'll be a piece of crack car. But you'll put $2,000 rims on it. Nice and shiny. But you won't give it a paint job. You won't get the dents out of it. You won't give it new suspension. You'll put a radio in it, but it won't be a nice one. It'll look like a piece of crack with some shiny spokes on it. You won't even buy new tires for it unless they have to fit. The rim, you can't find used. You might have to buy new. That's the only thing on the car that's gonna be new. When I used to wear my rough, I gave away 30 pairs of shoes. Phone. Mobile hotspot. The mobile hotspot is on. Come on. Come on. It's not enough. All right, we are back. Hold on, let me see. What are we connected to? All right, it's back up. All right, so there's no way that lower the resolution. The hotspot can't handle. Remember, we streaming at 300. I mean at 2,304 by 12 something. No, by 20 something. We're streaming in 2K. We need at least 600. We need at least 43 megabit a second. The hotspot only puts out 5. So we're waiting for the router to come back. The phone can only do, on a hotspot, it can only do 5 megabits a second. Now it's jumping around. 2709, 1937, 852. That's not enough to power the show. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but we hanging on. It's everywhere. 2739, 2410, 443, 2566, 2721, 145, 2881, 2355, 479. The hotspot can't. The hotspot cannot. We need the router to come back. All right, I think it's back up. Let me see. Network. We connected to both. We are connected to the hotspot and the Xfinity. So are we live? Can I change the settings? Can I lower them? If I lower the settings, it's not going to be able to carry the show. Because we dropping frames. $367, 2840.